Catherine Wilson became the target of sexual predators at a very young age. She says it started with the vice principal of her elementary school.
I was first sexually abused when I was just in, first grade.
That abuse continued with family members until she was forced into sex trafficking when she was just 15 years old. Wilson considered drastic measures as a way to survive on the streets.
Finding somebody that can help protect you, and then there's the if I have to kill somebody. I remember while I was being trafficked, sleeping with a kitchen knife under my pillow.
Wilson escaped, got married, and raised a family. 5 years ago, she began sharing her story and is now the executive director of the Stop Trafficking Us. The nonprofit organization provides resources to victims and survivors of sex trafficking. She's also closely watching the case of Centoya Brown.
I'm not saying I deserve anything.
The 30-year-old Tennessee woman is fighting for clemency 14 years after her conviction of killing a 43-year-old man who hired her for sex. Supporters say Brown feared for her life. Prosecutors contend she killed the man to rob him. Brown is working on a college degree behind bars. Wilson says she could be a powerful voice for other sex trafficking victims.
She has been a model citizen. She's giving back to the community from where she's at. I hope that she does get clemency.
John Sarbeck is a human trafficking prosecutor with the Cumberland County District Attorney's Office. Sarbeck will take over as a new DA in January. But he wouldn't comment on Brown's appeal for clemency. But he says there's been a big shift among prosecutors and law enforcement in Maine on how they deal with sex trafficking cases.
When you see people who are involved in prostitution, we're not viewing them as criminals, we're viewing them more as victims.
Studies have found victims in Maine are usually white females ranging from as young as 14 to 30 years old. Many have histories of sexual abuse or domestic violence, a lack of supportive caregivers, and drug use. Police have also been trained to be on the lookout for victims as well.
The first question that they ask is, do you need help? Do you need services? Are you being actively trafficked? That's a big change that wasn't there probably 5 or 6 years ago.
As for Wilson, she wants victims to know they can escape the suffering, but more resources are desperately needed.
There are people that are unnecessarily falling through the crack because they didn't have a safe place to stay.
Now in Tennessee, Governor Bill Haslam granted clemency to 11 people yesterday. Brown was not one of them, but a decision on her case is expected before that governor leaves office in January.